Welcome to Sports and Touring, and today I'm talking to you about the all-new Insta360 One RS, a modular action camera that is literally multiple cameras in one, both a 360 camera and a 4K action camera. And yes, I know, it's only been a couple of videos since I did a camera and car video. I kind of felt like I had to share this one because this camera is cool. Now, the main purpose of me using a 360 camera inside the car is the fact that I can shoot first and point later, which allows you to capture moments that you wouldn't otherwise be able to capture while you're driving. And for inside the car, honestly, the form factor of the One RS is actually much better than the One X2. And I found that the adapter to hold the receiver for the wireless mic that I was using on my One X2 actually fits really, really neatly on my suction mount rig on the windscreen with this particular camera. Altogether, everything is just a little bit more out of the way. And because in this form factor, it's still a 360 camera, you can also get those absolutely epic drone-like chase shots. And of course, we're gonna test that out towards the end of this video. The One RS actually replaces the outgoing One R. So there's been a number of improvements and upgrades made to this camera. And I'm sure there's other videos out there that will tell you all about those. I've never used the One R, so I couldn't really tell you. Now, I've already showed you how the Insta360 One X2 can be like having multiple cameras all in one, allowing you to capture multiple different angles. And the One RS goes even further in that you can literally swap out the different lens mods. So you can go from a 4K action camera to a 360 camera to an even crisper lens with a 1-inch sensor. Insta360 have sent me the Twin Edition, which gives you the 4K lens and the 360 lens. I've shown you a ton of stuff about the capabilities of the 360 cameras in my previous videos. The export and editing process is basically the same for those. Now, one of the things I've needed for a while is an additional action camera to capture exterior angles on the car in high quality. Now, for certain exterior shots, I've occasionally used the Insta360 One X and One X2, or sometimes I'll also use the Insta360 Go 2. I showed you that in a previous video and some of the cool POV shots that you can get with that. But the downside of this is that it only lasts 10 to 15 minutes before you have to give it a chance to cool down again and recharge. And there have been times when I just wanted a regular action camera on the outside of the car. But what's cool is the 4K boost lens has some pretty cool features associated with it. Now, what I really like about this, if you notice on this side, it's only got one connector. That means that you can either put the camera together with the preview screen facing you. Now you've got forward-facing preview. That's handy if you're filming towards yourself, so if you're kind of using it for vlogging. It would be useful for some people if they were starting out on YouTube to have this one camera that literally does everything.
And in case you were wondering what the audio was like, this is just sitting in the car with the roof up and using the built-in mics.
Or, because of that one connector and the two receptors, because obviously for the 360 it needs the two for each of the lenses, you can just turn that around and then pop it back together. Now is facing away from you. You can just take regular photos, HDR photos, interval shots, nighttime, a star lapse. You can do some loop recording, slow motion, burst shot, and 6K widescreen mode. One of the neat tricks on this particular lens, the 4K boost lens, is this HDR video. And this is active HDR. One of the challenges with HDR, cameras sometimes don't do too well with HDR when there's motion, but this particular camera handles that pretty well. In terms of the options for video, we've got 4K 16:9 at 60 frames a second. You can obviously work your way through each of these options, and the camera has built-in FlowState stabilisation. This is some of the best stabilisation that I have ever seen, quite frankly, and it's built into the camera. One of the challenges with the One X2 is in order to take advantage of the FlowState, you had to export it from the app on your phone or tablet or from the software on your laptop, whereas this has it built into the actual body itself. So you just record straight to MP4s, no exporting it after the fact needed. The one criticism I would have of the menu system is if you want to change the audio modes so that you get rid of wind reduction and take advantage of the directional enhancement, then you have to kind of go quite deep into the menus to get there. And the one thing I haven't figured out how to do yet is to stop the screen from turning off, because if I was using it in a vlogging mode like this, unfortunately after a little while the screen just tries to save some power and turns itself off. Now, one of the other cool things is in the app you can actually very quickly connect to the device and of course see a preview of the shot that you've got. Now we need a little POV. And of course we couldn't end this video without the good old chase shot. Now, of course, we need to switch over the lenses, pretty straightforward. Just pop it out of the case, pop in the 360 module, and now you've gone from a 4K action camera to a 5.7K 360 lens. Now, it's cool, but this is for the full 360 degrees. So what's going to happen is when you crop it, you end up with something closer to HD. Now, what's particularly cool about this mounting rig is that it is much more stable there, thanks to the stabilisation of this particular clamp here, all explained in a previous video. So I will leave a link to that in the description. Pop this back in. Obviously, this has got to be on this side so that the power buttons and the start button works. And I really ought to get a quick release for this, but this screws on as normal. Now, you actually don't have to have this sticking out that much in order to get a pretty good shot due to the ultra wide angle of these lenses. You can get an awful lot of the car in the shot.
And when you combine some of these options, you get some epic results.
And on top of the many cool features of the One RS, if you've already got a One R, your existing lenses will be compatible with the new unit. Whether that's a worthwhile upgrade for you, it's probably worth checking some other reviews that do a direct comparison. But for me, coming from using a One X2, the versatility and form factor of the One RS actually better suit my needs. So if you like what you see today and you want your own One RS, you use the links in the description. For a limited time, Insta360 are going to give you a free dashcam mount. And of course, you'll be supporting the channel. And if you've enjoyed this video, I think you'll also like this video. And of course, make sure you give us a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, choose notifications on all videos, and you'll get to see the results of how we use the Insta360 One RS in our regular vlogs.